Here we are once again, getting mud, but in a somewhat automated way. I found a contraption online that I'll credit in the description, but I found a build for this redstone contraption where basically it consists of some, I think, pretty easy redstone, a whole bunch of bottles, a couple water sources, and basically just a dropper that's connected here that'll just keep feeding you dirt. And all of it gets captured by this hopper, and it all just gets filtered down into this large chest. So, is it the fastest thing in the world? Maybe not, but it sure is effective. The redstone's pretty easy. It just takes a couple repeaters, redstone torch, I think like 4 hoppers, something like that, a couple dispensers, and a dropper. But once again, I'll leave the build in the description if you want to check it out. If you're like me and don't want to run through the nether to go get more mud. Pretty good build though, and it'll give us plenty of resources to finish out all the roads and pathways that we want to kind of place around the base here. Let's just go ahead and grab all the mud from in here, and then we can go and craft this into mud, dried mud block. What's it called? You know what it's called. Let's pop this guy back on this item. Nope. This guy, there we go. Back there, and then packed mud, that's what it's called. So we'll be able to get a ton of packed mud. I went and harvested 1/2 of the wheat field, so we have plenty of wheat to get everything that we need here, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about, going out and grabbing mud anymore now that we have that little device. And it's also good because we finally found a kind of a use for one of those buildings, which is really nice. It aesthetically, the interior isn't super great. It's just kind of this mishmash of redstone in the middle of a room, but it is hidden away, which I do like. It's hidden away in this building. You're not going to see it unless you're using it. And maybe we'll do something similar. So if we come up here, right, we have this floor. We have one more floor above this one as well, actually. We got that guy. And this bridges over to the other half of the gatehouse that we built. I still need to put ladders up here, but it's the exact same layout, right? Where we have a first story down there, a second story here, a third story up there. So maybe we'll be able to fit in some more of these smaller, redstone contraptions in here. They won't be like crazy rates per hour or anything, but they are around where we're going to be, so they should, theoretically at least, always be, loaded and working. So if we wanted to do like a sugar cane or a bamboo farm or something like that with a couple, piston observer type thing, I think that would be a really good fit. We also need to find a place to load up our enchanting room since we've taken it down. These are still kind of a little bit of a work in progress, and they're pretty darn small rooms, as you can see in here. So, and also not done, apparently. So, yeah, we'll have to figure out a use case for those smaller footprint rooms. But I do like that we have the option of just kind of tucking stuff in here, tucking it away, and it'll still all be loaded and running more than likely, but it won't just be out in the middle of our base or anything like that. The other thing I've kind of been working off camera is just starting to carve this area out. If we hop into free cam here, you can kind of see this lines up really well, actually. So if we zip across here, this is actually on the same elevation as this. We just went down a little bit because of the angle of the camera, but we'll be able to bridge directly across this onto the second island. Oop, sun going down. Let's hop in here real quick. Our bed's not in there. Our bed, oh, it's up in the it's up in that farmhouse, but we can sneak up this way, I think, get to it pretty quickly. And we also need to find a home for our cow friends here. We don't want them just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Trying to find, you know, a place for everything and then put everything in its place. I don't want to have stuff just laying around. And I think we've done a fairly good job of that for the most part. Like, our food is handled. We never have to worry about food again, just from the wheat farms themselves. But we also have these cows, right? We'll need to put them somewhere. Maybe we can find a spot up here for them. And then we also have this whole level here that we can put some smaller builds into potentially. And maybe even extend up this kind of dock ward, as it were. And kind of build this area up. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm still kind of thinking about where to place everything. Our location is really nice though, because we have, it's like kind of this tiered island, right? So we have a ton of opportunity to have a really interesting skyline, especially from, what the heck was that? From the chimney? Sheesh. Almost fell on our head. But yeah, from this, you know, river, we have a really cool skyline, or at least the opportunity for a really cool skyline. And that'll also double as we start expanding to these other islands in the future. But for today, I think what I would like to do is I would like to get our roads kind of finished, you know, quote unquote, fill in those last pieces that we just ran out of mud for in the last episode. And then I think, unfortunately, actually, we have to go into the nether. And that's kind of the next step in the progression here, as far as I know. We also have some armor trims that we should look at as well. So we'll make sure to do that today. But let's go ahead and finish up the roads real quick. All right. We got ready. We get all the material that I hope we need. We went and we upgraded our pick, or not upgraded, but repaired our pickaxe at the spawner. I did that off camera. We should put some of our gold armor on there. Arrows, food, building blocks, etc. So what's kind of our objective here? I think our objective should be to find another fortress. And what I'm kind of thinking is to take the staircase that we made in the last episode, getting back from the mangrove swamp. We can take this and just start poking around and see what we can't find. Now, obviously, we have to be somewhat careful here, but we'll just start poking around. We'll see what we come across here. And hopefully it's something that we're after. Now, obviously, we're looking for another fortress because that's going to unlock some potion brewing for us, as well as getting some of the... Is this not the staircase? It's surely it was not. the staircase. But what we're looking for is yeah, blazes basically to start getting you know, eyes of nether, I think is what they're called, and then also you know, maybe even some wither skulls. We'll see. But let me poke around and see what we can't find here. So I was poking around in our little stairway slash hallway that we built last episode. Just been kind of poking out every once in a while, and I ended up spotting another fortress down here. I see a couple blaze spawners off in the distance there. I've seen a couple blazes over that direction as well. But I managed to build a somewhat precarious staircase down in the general direction of it. Oh god, which way do we go this way? Clearly I have forgotten the way down already, which is not great. Which means we should probably put a couple torches down. A couple torches. Just to mark it. So, as I was saying, a little precarious. We got a lot of magma cubes off this way. Let's go ahead and just try to... I hear a blaze. Oh, Lord. So let's just go for it. We got the achievement. Let's pop down here. And just before anything else happens, let's just take a moment. Peek down that way. We should be okay. And I want to just light this area up. And that's going to be our marker that this is the way back out of this horrible place. So we've made it, which is great. We have a staircase back, which is also great. I think I'm going to keep blocks on our bar for the most part. And we'll just kind of light this up as we go. Now, obviously, there's some stuff in here that we want to be somewhat careful of. How many Okay, we don't have a ton of torches, so... Oh. Hello, friend. Let's go ahead and just get you out of the way real quick. We'll put a little guy there. Let's put a guy here, just for the time being. And, we'll just keep going. Did we get... Oh, good. We got blaze rods, which is huge, actually. So we've gotten one of the main things we came for. Oh, we have our first wither skeleton here. Let's go ahead and let's keep you on that side, buddy. And I think, yes. Perfect. Okay. That's kind of how we're gonna plan on dealing with wither skeletons. Great. Okay, so now we can farm the nether wart, which is great. That's a pretty good excursion, if I do say so myself. We have plenty of nether wart. We don't need to worry about that stuff there. What in the world are you doing here, friend? I'm just gonna walk past you. I don't want to accidentally hit the zombified pigman there. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. This is our safe place for the time being. I think we should take what we have and probably get on out of here. First trip into a fortress. Pretty successful. Let's see what we got. We got some blaze rods. That's going to be plenty to get what we need. And that's really about it. I mean, we got saddles, we got nether wart, which is huge. That'll be useful to, you know, obviously start brewing up some potions for us. But I think that's gotta be good enough for now. Let's just see if we can't escape out of here. Well, we made it back successfully here. So, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. I've created a couple rooms in this first half of the gatehouse. The first one being, you know, kind of our potion brewing area. So we have our brewing stand set up with a barrel underneath. And I've just started kind of putting stuff in here that we're going to end up using in the future. We still need to go back and get some magma cream at some point. And that'll let us make the fire resistance potions, I believe. At which point we'll be able to go back there and farm the blazes pretty darn easily. Is the hope. In which case, we'll do that. We'll craft Eyes of Ender, and then we'll start looking at going to the end and doing the dragon fight, etc. We also need to go back there and get Wither Skulls so we can do the Wither. We got a ton of stuff ahead of us still, which is nice. The second, or I guess third room in this building is our enchanting setup here. So I've just placed this table back up here, and we have all the stuff we need for enchanting. I've also created some of these chiseled bookshelves, which look real nice. You can just throw books in here in any kind of position you want. Pretty cool. As well as some storage for lapis and other things up here as well. We got the anvil, the grindstone, all that good stuff. But one thing I wanted to take a look at today are these trims that we have. So we can throw this in here. We'll use the coast armor trim, I suppose, since we have the most of those. And effectively, it lets you put different patterns on your armor, right? So this is kind of what it would look like if you had kind of that lapis inlay. And you can do pretty much, well, not anything, but you can do a lot of stuff in here. So we can do like a gold inlay, which looks pretty good. You can do red, of course. With amethyst, you can do purple. You can even do diamonds, and it'll kind of do a diamond inset as well, which is really cool. I don't think we have enough diamonds to really afford that at the moment, so we'll probably not do that. But you can also do emeralds here for that green look, which is cool. You can even do nether quartz, as it turns out. It ends up looking quite a bit... It's like a lighter shade of iron, which is pretty cool. I didn't actually realize you could do nether quartz. I'm sure there's other stuff you can do with this as well. But for now, I think we're just going to go for the gold inlay. So let's do that. Oh, get the achievement for it too, which is nice. And let's see, we can do 2 more here. So why don't we do, I don't know, let's do pants and helmet, I think is pretty good. You can also mix and match too if you wanted. So you don't have to do all gold or anything. Like for our helm, we could do red instead, or we could just do like a diamond inlay or whatever we wanted. For now, just to keep it straightforward, I wonder if you can actually, can you overwrite it? You can. Okay, so they're not set in stone, which is good. And let's do our pants as well. Nice. And then the last thing I wanted to cover about trims is you can actually duplicate these as well. It's kind of expensive. You end up needing, oh, I think I have cobble in my offhand, right? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. But basically, each trim requires a specific block to put in here. But this is the general pattern, right? So it's the trim, the block it needs, and then you surround the rest in diamonds, and that'll give you 2. So you're effectively duplicating it, right? Again, that's pretty expensive for where we're at, so we'll probably just hold on to that for now. But maybe what we can do, we can check out maybe we'll check out the dune trim for our boots is what we'll do here. Let's throw that on, and we'll probably stick with the same kind of color theme at least. But yeah, let's throw that one on there. Let's re-equip all of our gear, and now you can see that we have this nice gold trim on all of our gear. So I know that is that's relatively old news in the Minecraft world, but I haven't done it yet, so I think it's really cool still. There's a ton of stuff we haven't done, or I haven't done. So trims successfully done. We can do enchanting now as much as we want, and we'll probably want to do that on our axe at some point because it's a little behind the rest of our tools. We still need to get efficiency 5. We definitely need to get mending on our axe as well so that we can get that repaired. It'd be nice to get like an infinity bow, and then we probably don't want fire aspect on our sword. We'd probably rather have something else there. Probably a sharpness enchant. It would be nice there. But yeah, I just wanted to take a look at the trims real quick. But we have our alchemy station here, which is nice, and I'm kind of liking the idea of throwing all of these little utility kind of use cases into these rooms. So each one of them has its home. We'll probably still need to go in and decorate them out a little bit. I still don't know what to do with these. These are pretty thin rooms, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So the last thing that I think I want to do is I'm going to look at this area. This is kind of in like the corner of our base, like right where all these big spruce trees are. And I've been wanting to set up basically like a blacksmith building. I want to get like kind of a mini super smelter going on, is basically what I'm wanting to do here. It'll give us kind of a corner build for the island that we're on. So as we continue to, you know, expand this retaining wall around here, it'll give us a nice little build to kind of fit in along with that. Let's go ahead and clear the area, and then we can start talking about the build itself. All right, I think we have kind of the building blocks here. Looked around for some inspiration on blacksmith builds. I didn't want it to look exactly like what we've been doing before. In my mind, you know, blacksmith shop, it needs to be a little bit more hardy or structural, or you know, a little bit durable, right? So I think we're going to have our main building here. I opted for a side entrance. So the path is actually going to kind of side wind around here. And then I think I'm going to expand this terrain out a little bit and kind of have an outdoor workshop on the side as well. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm playing around with the new tough blocks, new to me, and they're pretty cool actually. They have this I don't know, it's almost like a greenish kind of hue to the color on them. So they blend in really well with, oh my gosh. Let's take care of this jerk real quick. Come back over here. Come here. Hello. Hello. Jeez. Anyway. So yeah, started building this out just to get a feel for it. I do like it. We're gonna have to figure out some of the detail. And what I'm thinking is, you know, this first half of the build will essentially be stone and stone brick and tough and all those kinds of stone, like stone blocks, I guess. And then toward the top, we might bring in some more of that bone block just to keep some cohesion. But it's not going to be as much as, you know, all of the other builds in the area. But I wanted to bring you in just to kind of talk about, uh, you know, just this kind of aesthetic we're going for. I'm trying to keep it somewhat similar. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm using oak trapdoors here and clearly dark oak up there. Of course. All right. Well, if that's a sign, that's a sign. Let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse and get this thing built, shall we? And I think that'll about do it, at least for now. So we set up kind of this little blacksmith shop. I wanted to set this up. We needed to put something in this area. And not only do I like the way it turned out, I've been trying to use a lot of these new tough blocks and try to figure out, kind of how they fit in. If you strip the spruce wood, it kind of gives it this greenish hue to it. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. But I think it blends in pretty well. I'm debating on whether or not to strip the rest of it or not, but we'll get to that when we get to it, I guess. Other than that, I tried playing around with a little bit of color variation on the overhang here. So if we kind of take a step back, the thought here is that this will kind of trick the eye into making it a little bit shadowed underneath the overhang, these 3 blocks right here. I don't know how well it turned out, but it's always nice to try new things, right? That's the whole point of doing a lot of this. So in this open area here, we got a couple chimneys that attach to this forge area. I attached a couple chains, a couple of the furnaces, and then I just have some netherrack in the back that are always going to be burning. So I think that ties in pretty well. A couple item frames and various other knickknacks, some lighting, some storage, crafting bench, etc. But the real reason I wanted to build this is we needed some kind of efficient way to smelt our stuff. So I set up just a very, very small super smelter, I guess you would call it. I don't know how super it is, but we've got 7 furnaces in a line. You've probably seen this, hundreds of times if you've watched a bunch of Minecraft, but all it is a couple mine carts with chests attached to powered rails. They go back and forth across 2 sets of hoppers. This bottom set here feeds fuel. So this is our fuel chest in here. So that'll feed fuel into all the furnaces. And then on top is what you want to smelt, right? So I guess these are furnaces. So it's smelting or cooking, right? But that's where you put all that stuff. You hit this lever, back and forth they go. It dumps all the contents through the hoppers into the furnaces, right? So pretty easy setup all in all. But it'll be nice just to be able to drop stuff in there. Boom, hit the switch, carry on, or AFK, or whatever you want to do, right? As far as detailing out the building, I did some work, just trying to make it a little bit more interesting. I think there's still some stuff to do here. It looks a little flat, especially when you're looking at it straight on. This roof silhouette doesn't really do it for me, but again, like I said, trying something a little bit new. We'll have to tinker with it as time goes on. Obviously, I need to clean up some of the stuff outside, and then connect the path up here as well. So a little bit left to do here, but I think it turned out pretty well, all in all. And if we take a look, a little bit further away from the base, it also balances this front view out a little bit, where we have this nice little build here as well. It's hard to see a lot of detail at distance on it, which is slightly by design, but also I think we can improve on it a little bit. I didn't want it to be super flashy. It's meant to be kind of a blacksmith shop, so it's not going to be built out of the same material. It's got to be sturdy, all those things, right? But it does add another, kind of focal point there. And certainly, as we cruise up this way, we can see that this area is getting a little bit cramped for space, but we also have this whole other section over here that we need to work with, as well as the rest of the island that we're on. And then we're going to be working on building this bridge out here. Maybe building one out here, although that's a pretty long distance. Maybe it makes more sense to put one back here just to keep it interesting, right? But let me know what you guys think about all of that. I liked how the build turned out. It's pretty cool. I think it's important to find different little sources of inspiration, different build styles, try them out in your world. If you like them, you can improve on them. If you don't like them, you can always scrap it, right? Nothing's permanent here. So that's going to do it for me for today. A little bit of a lighter episode, but getting back into the swing of things here. I don't want to take on too much all at once. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. And yeah, let me know what you think of the base so far, the builds, all that good stuff. What should we work on next? And then yeah, we will see you next episode.